What is up, everybody, and welcome to episode 25 of the Fallen for Film podcast. I'm your host, Ryan O'Toole, and my co-host, Colin Williams. We are here today for another episode, right, Colin? How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. I wonder how many weeks into the podcast are we going to stop saying what episode it is because if we're doing it for so long. But it's
Okay,
like
how
episode
about when
100 and when we get to 100,
Yeah.
I think is when we can stop. Probably.
we could just say, what's up? That's
What's
all
up?
we can say.
Well, what's going on, guys? Yeah, man, I'm doing good. I was telling you off air, I took a nap every single day this week because I had a tough week, not tough week at work, but just working, getting back to the usual grind during the whole quarantine situation. I was, sleeping in late kind of. And I stayed up late too. So I've been doing that. Like I've been still staying up late, and I was like, no, I need to, like I'm saying, like I would stay up to like 2 or 3 in the morning, have to wake up at like 7. So I wasn't getting a lot of sleep.
Really?
So
You're a 2:30 a.m. guy?
Yeah, 2, 3 a.m. kind of guy. And I last night I stayed up till 5 a.m. I stay up super late. Like when you woke up, I went to bed.
We're completely opposite because I go to bed at like 10 or 11, and then I'm up at like 4 a.m. on work days. And then on days off, I'm usually up around 9. So our sleep schedules are kind of different.
Yeah. The thing with me is I don't sleep in. Like even when I stay up, I don't sleep in late. Like today, I actually slept until 11. Like that was like kind of rare for me. And then I woke up and then I watched a movie, and then now we're doing the podcast. But it was interesting. Actually, the only day I didn't take a nap and the only day I went to bed early is I appeared on Kristen Maldonado's podcast, Pop Culture Planet. We talked about we analyzed some teen movies, which that's kind of my area of expertise. So we did that, but I didn't take a nap because I got off work and then I had to do the podcast. But I was tired though when we got it.
Yeah, no joke, dude. Yeah, a couple times when we do the podcast, I usually like zoom out for a couple hours.
Yeah, you're yawning every now and then. I can.
Yeah, that's why you see me yawning a lot. Like
because we do it on the weekends. I have weekends off, so that's never an issue for me. I'm never really tired when we're.
And just so you know, we're doing podcast Saturdays now because you know what Sundays are. Football, baby. Football's back on tomorrow. I can't not wait.
But the thing is, that's good. We might have to start recording on like Friday night because Saturdays are my day for college football.
Or Fridays.
Yeah, we might have to work something out on.
We're gonna have to change schedules.
We're gonna have to work around our. We're gonna have to work around our teams because the Gators I think play at 12 on the 26th of Saturday, and then the Patriots. We'll have to figure some stuff out, and then maybe record on Fridays or something. Because we can't miss our team.
All right, so you're the college football guy. I'm the NFL guy. So we're gonna have to figure something out. No, I actually have a big.
I kind of. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but I kind of have a little bit of a big announcement for both of us.
That's right.
I'll start with you. You got 400,000 views. Congratulations!
Yes,
big milestone.
Awesome. Mm-hmm.
I'm like, and then I got 1,000 subscribers. Basically, right after we recorded the podcast last week, we were saying like let's get me myself to 1,000 subs. It pretty much happened right after. So that was a very obtainable goal, and so some milestones for both of our channels.
And actually, I'm approaching another milestone, 2,500 subscribers. So I need 3 more subscribers. I got 2,497. So let's get me to 2,500 subs by the time the podcast drops on
the podcast. We officially have some clout. We have some clouts. You got 400,000. I got 1,000. So we're getting there.
We're recording this right now on Saturday. But when this podcast is up on Monday, let's get me to 2,500 subscribers.
Yeah, you'll have it by then for sure. I'll make some accounts and subscribe.
But anyway, a lot of goals being reached. It's just been great. I do have a goal to reach 3,000 subscribers by the end of this year. That's probably not going to happen, but it's always great to dream big. But it's always great to dream big regardless. There's really not a lot of movies that came out most recently. I know Mulan, Tenet. I know we got The Devil All the Time, the new Netflix movie coming out next week. We have a lot of movie news to get into for sure. But before we get into that, let's talk a little bit about Big Brother. I know Big Brother came out this
Yeah,
past couple days. Have you watched the newest episodes?
I did. I for some reason I always kind of forget like what happened, and then I'm trying to think. Um,
So Bailey got evicted.
Bailey got evicted, and then the HOH was happening. I looked up who won, but I won't spoil it for you
Yeah,
in case you haven't
Christmas.
seen it.
Yeah, Christmas Day. Vaughn and Bailey all got in a fight, an
Yeah,
argument.
that was a little. Whose side were you on? Interesting.
I was on Day and Bay's side, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw both sides. I think I
Yeah.
mean I understood what Christmas was saying. It was like, you told me this information. Of course, it's like, it's Big Brother. I'm gonna nominate you, but she overreacted.
Yeah, by getting in the face
Like
and
I
the
think I
clapping.
think I think Christmas had the right point, but she handled it the wrong way. If that
Yeah,
makes sense.
that's true. Yeah.
So
But I'm curious to see what happens this week. I don't know who won HOH, so
I
yeah.
do. I looked it up. I usually look it up if it's like we don't find the who won the HOH. Like if it's like a big endurance comp.
Oh, you look for the you can't wait. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait. I don't wait till Sunday. I found out who won. If I'm being honest, I'm not really happy with who won.
Yeah. It's
So.
probably David.
No, it's I won't say anything.
I don't know. We'll see.
I won't say anything.
David or Memphis. But yeah, I can't wait to watch the Big Brother this week. But Colin, we got a lot of movie news to dive into, so I figured let's just cut right to the chase.
Let's do it.
So before we get started, if you guys are just tuning on in here, if this is your first time checking out the podcast and you want to see more episodes, there's a playlist on my YouTube. But if you don't have time to watch it on my YouTube channel, there are podcast platform links are in the description. You can check us out on Spotify, iTunes, and Google Play. You can listen to us while you're on the road or at work, wherever you want. Podcast platform links are in the description. So our first piece of news is we got a new trailer that dropped, and that was Dune. Denis Villeneuve's highly anticipated blockbuster film, Dune. I was very pumped for the trailer. We saw the sneak peek, little brief trailer that they showed at some screenings for Tenet and IMAX, and the trailer, dude, I cannot wait for this movie, man. I'm actually gonna read the book as well because this movie's just like hyped to the next
I
level.
want to know nothing, so I'm not going to read the book. I don't want to know anything about it.
Oh, you're going to be okay. I'm actually am going to read the book because I'm very curious about this world, these characters, Denis Villeneuve's direction, and the sandworms as well. I'm curious to read more about that. Yeah, Colin, so what were your thoughts on the trailer?
This one's tricky for me because you have this one was interesting. Well, first of all, I watched it. I was very excited to see it because I saw it at my lunch break at work. So I was watching the whole Stephen Colbert interview on Twitter, like on my phone. I was like in my classroom, like full on, like, super excited to watch. The thing for me is the trailer had to do very little for me to like. I was already excited for the movie, nonetheless. Like I know the movie's going to be good. It's just going to be. Denis Villeneuve knows what he's doing. The cast, the cinematography, the shots we saw, like everything looks good. The trailer looked good from a sense, like the movie looks good. I just wasn't a big fan of the actual trailer. Not that the movie, like the shots that we're seeing, nothing about the shots and stuff made me think the movie's going to look bad at all. Like, in fact, it confirmed that the movie's going to be good. But the trailer, I didn't really like the music choice. I thought
I wasn't crazy about the music either.
Yeah, it kind of was a weird choice. I think I will say it looks epic, and it also looks a little bit more fun than I was expecting. There was a joke with Jason Momoa, and they're hugging each other, him and Timothy Chalamet. Oh, that's kind of a sweet little moment.
Man.
Yeah, it's basically like a different version of that. I enjoyed that, but I have trouble. There's not, like I said, it's not much that it could have done to not impress me. But I don't know what this trailer will do for audiences who don't know anything about Dune, who aren't already looking forward to it. Because if you're just like my mom or my dad or my brother, you're watching the show and be like, okay, like there's some stars in here, but like, what's this movie about? And I felt like it, for some reason, like this show, like when I saw the trailers for like Tenet or like recently, or for like Infinity War, Endgame, or Wonder Woman 84, the first trailer, or A Quiet Place Part 2's trailer, like some of the other ones, it just like hooked me emotionally and just got me so pumped. The Joker trailer, Uncut Gems, these trailers, I'm just like, oh my god, the music, the shots, everything just hooked. For whatever reason, even though Dune looks good, like I know it's going to be a good movie, for some reason it just didn't like get me in my core.
It didn't strike you like those.
Yeah, it didn't grab me by my heart and just hold on to that pulse and just got me super pumped for the movie. I feel like we've talked about this in the podcast multiple times. I said they got to kill the marketing campaign for this movie. That was a big thing. It's like the marketing's key. The marketing's key because we don't want this movie to bomb. I don't know if this is the best trailer to go for if you're going that route for a trailer to win over audiences who don't know what this movie is and who aren't movie fans like us and who know who Denis Villeneuve is. I don't know if this was the right direction the trailer should have gone. It was a little bit slower, a little bit more of the methodical shots and stuff, but it accurately represented the movie. But I think if it would have been a little bit more like epic, we didn't really get too much Hans Zimmer score as well. We got a Pink Floyd song, which again was just really, really weird. I didn't understand the song choice at all. I understand it was an homage to the first film, but I didn't. And some people were hyping it up, like some of my good friends, and they really loved it. I was like, really? It just, like I said, like the movie's gonna be good, so I'm not worried about the film. I'm concerned about the marketing, you know?
Yeah, for this trailer, I think they did what they needed to do, which was present what the world of Dune is. It's the sci-fi world that's all about creatures, about families, about just rivalries. I haven't read the books either, so I know people are saying that this is basically like a gritty version of Game of Thrones versus Lord of the Rings, from what I've heard from diehard fans.
Smart man Star Wars.
If they promote this movie like a Lord of the Rings, Game of Thrones versus Star Wars, that's going to get people into those movie theater seats. But we'll have something to talk about later.
Were you concerned with the marketing, though? Are you going to be concerned with the marketing? Like,
yeah,
that's good enough.
I was satisfied with this first trailer. I didn't love it like the Batman trailer, but I was
exactly. The Batman too just struck a core in me, you know.
Yeah, this movie doesn't have to do anything to get me hyped for it. I'm already hyped for it. It's my most anticipated film for this year. If it does come out this year, that's still there. But I love the cast. You know, they had a lot of Chalamet, they had a lot of Momoa, and Javier Bardem, and just all these actors are in here. A lot of Oscar Isaac too. So you already have a stacked cast. Just the question is, how you gonna promote this to the actual theatrical going audiences that aren't diehard movie junkies like we are? Yeah, I'm pretty sure they have a set marketing campaign for the film. I'm just curious how they're gonna do it. The sandworms are a really cool addition. Yeah. How are you going to market them?
Apparently that means something to people. I saw it and I was like, okay, I guess I didn't watch the previous movie or anything like that. Like, it just.
I'm pretty sure it'll be bigger. I'm pretty sure it'll be bigger in the movie because I know it's bigger in the books. But yeah, I think they pretty much went for the books route. It satisfied the books fans. I'm pretty sure the next trailer you got to satisfy the movie-going audience that aren't big movie junkies. So I really like the first trailer. Didn't love the music choice. I agree with that, but I'm still pumped for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't wait for that next trailer. But speaking of that, Colin, we got to talk about Wonder Woman 1984. Now, it has been delayed once again. It's coming out this Christmas, December 25th. Christmas release for Wonder Woman 1984. There were speculations it was going to get pushed this in Dune just because of how poorly TENET is doing. Right now, with the theaters being back open, like the test was TENET, and right now it's underperforming where the studio wanted it to be. So I think the smart move was to move Wonder Woman to December, but they still have Dune in its December 18th slot. So, Colin, my question to you is, apparently right now they're confident with the holiday branding for both of these movies. Is this the dumbest idea to release both these movies within a 1 week span? Or would you move this to definitely next year? And where would you put Dune?
I think the assumption is that fans of Wonder Woman, or fans that are excited for Wonder Woman and excited for Dune, there's a big overlap. Like, me. I'm excited for both movies. So I feel like they were thinking a lot of the same people will want to see both movies. So it wasn't as much of a competition because instead of just picking one or the other, there's a lot of people that will watch both. A lot of people I saw freaking out, like thinking this is the dumbest idea ever. Dune needs to move. And to be honest, I didn't think much about it. I didn't really think like I just kind of people were freaking out as if it was this concrete thing. It's like I when they're saying, "Oh, we're confident and we're gonna have both of these movies here, and the Christmas release is gonna bring in enough funding for both of these movies, and they'll be just fine and dandy," right? Like, I didn't really believe it. I always thought like I think Dune's gonna move, and if it doesn't, then I mean they're confident and they know more about running a studio than I do. So I just didn't really question it. There was a lot of people on Twitter like freaking out, like, this is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. I'm like, it's probably gonna move. I don't know why you're freaking out, but if it doesn't, yeah, I saw a bunch of people like acting like acting like it was the stupidest thing ever, and I'm like, it's not that bad, but you're probably gonna move. The only reason why I don't think it's dumb is because it's not going to happen. I just doubt that it's so I didn't think much thought into it to think it's dumb because I think that's just them being confident in their movie and then they're going to eventually push it back because I'm not worried. I think Dune, it sucks. Dune's probably not going to come out this year though. I don't think so.
Yeah, Tenet as well. It was confident it was going to stick that July 17th landing, but it moved. It moved like a couple months, so. Yeah. I mean, I think they're just testing the waters right now, seeing how Tenet does throughout its theatrical window. Right now, Tenet, we'll talk about the box office for Tenet later, but as of right now, it's underperforming where they wanted it to be, and that's totally understandable because theaters have just opened back up, and with theater capacities around the world, and as well as big movie theater markets like LA and New York still being closed. So that's why you're seeing the underperforming numbers for Tenet. So I think this is the smart move, moving Wonder Woman to Christmas time. And it's a great, holiday season to get the family there and see Wonder Woman 1984. Now we'll just have to see what they do with Dune.
I think in Wonder Woman's going to perform way better than Dune, most likely.
Yeah.
More younger kids can see Wonder Woman. I just don't see kids being like, "Mommy, can we see Dune again?" Like they're gonna be like, "It's just
no."
It's more of a political type serious type movie. It looks like Wonder Woman's gonna be more fun in the way it presents the film.
Yeah, you have to convince 8-year-olds to watch Dune. I remember I heard somebody say that. That was funny. So now let's talk about Tenet's box office numbers now here for Tenet. It's earned $20.2 million in its domestic opening weekend, and the film has made $150 million at the worldwide box office. I know it did pretty well overseas and mixed with the U.S., not as much, but as of right now, $150 million worldwide and $20 million opening weekend. And I think Mulan did like $10 million or something, or
30. I heard 30.
It did 30? Okay.
That's just a speculation, though. That's not confirmed.
Yeah. So Tenet made $20 million. It won the weekend, obviously. So yeah, it's not surprising it won the weekend. I was expecting it to do around 30, around the Mulan mark. But again, we didn't see LA and New York. Those theaters aren't open right now. And all the theaters like in Massachusetts and different parts of the USA, you see those box office numbers where they're at.
Well, before we even jump into the numbers, can we talk about the fact that a week ago I was just crapping on Tenet?
Yeah, so what do you want to call this episode? Colin was wrong about Tenet, or Colin likes Tenet now?
Yeah.
Or Colin was wrong about Tenet. I don't know.
Yeah. I'm seeing it again tonight. I'm actually seeing it again tonight with my roommate. Hasn't seen it yet. So that's gonna be fun.
I might see it again this week.
I mean, how shocked were you when I texted you that I saw it again and I loved it?
I was expecting you to hate it more, but I'm like, dude, I loved it so much more. I'm like, yes. Yeah.
Were you surprised though?
Oh, and I was happy too because apparently you said it makes a lot more sense on review, and I'm like, yes.
Yeah. Oh yeah, now that I've seen it second time, I might even understand it more than you did because you had that first experience, which is hard. Like the second experience, like I can't even imagine how much you're gonna like it more. Because if I didn't like it, if you liked it the first time and were confused, I mean, I went from like 2 stars on Letterboxd to a 4.5. Like I would give it like an A or an A minus. The thing is, it's not a perfect movie. It's still messy. It probably shouldn't be as confusing as it is, but the second viewing makes way more sense. And I did you see my second reaction video? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I did the whole I was so, and can I just say too, I don't mean to play victim, but I was, for the lack of a better term, a little bit bullied online that day that Tenet came out when I was very vocal on Twitter, and people ripped me to shreds. It was one of my most disliked videos. People saying that I just didn't get it. All this stuff was people just acting like asses in the on Twitter and stuff. It's like,
did you get a lot of messages from people?
Yeah, I got messages from people, and of course, when I posted my updated thoughts, I got like 80 likes and like 3 dislikes instead. Like I got like I got more views on that video too because it was positive. So it's just funny to me. I was like, don't judge people based off their opinion. And I think if anything, people should be happy that I'm giving my honest thoughts on the movie, and I'm going to be transparent with the fact that I was not necessarily wrong because film's subjective, but that I just didn't get it the first time. And then I have the guts to tell you guys, hey, I was wrong, you know? And I saw it again, and I was willing to stand on a pedestal and go on Twitter and announce my initial frustrations with the movie and my updated thoughts on them. And I think I gained a lot of respect from the movie community because a lot of people were like, dude, that respect. I love that you're very honest. And like, people have told me like, dude, you're straight up kind of guy. Like you say how you feel, you say how it is. And I'm not going to lie. Like I was glad that I was able to admit that I was wrong. I'm not going to lie I'm never going to lie to you guys if I do a review ever. I always tell the 100% truth.
Yeah, definitely. Don't be afraid to admit that you were bullied or wrong or anything. You were just voicing your opinion. You weren't crapping on the filmmakers. You were just saying your honest opinion about the film overall and how you felt. And people, if you can't respect that, well, then you can just go watch another video.
Actually, what helped me get over 1,000 is Sean Chandler shouted me out on Twitter.
Crap, you're blurry, man.
Oh, sorry. Am I okay? Is it okay?
But you're blurry. Anyway.
Sorry. But yeah. So Sean Chandler shouted me out on Twitter, and that really helped. And this one guy commented was like, he said, no. He was like, get Colin to 1,000 subscribers, and this guy commented, he said, no, he hates good movies like Tenet and Mad Max Fury Road. I'm like, okay. And it's like, okay. And then he started making fun of Sean Chandler, saying like, "Oh, you don't like this movie." Brought up his alcoholism. It's like, dude, you're a douchebag, dude. Like,
dude, what an asshole.
I know, and what made me feel bad because Sean was doing a nice thing for me, and it backlashed on him, you know, and it made me feel bad. It's like it's not my fault, really. I didn't do anything. He chose to do that, and then people were acting like douchebags in the comment section. And then this one guy said like that I said The Incredible Hulk was the worst MCU movie, so he can't subscribe to me, and I never said that. So I commented, I was like, hey, like just curiosity, like when did you hear me say that? Because I never said that. And he's like, oh, okay, I thought it was you all subscribed. And I was like, what? Like, don't subscribe to my channel if you're just gonna get offended by any opinion that you don't agree with. I was like, so tread lightly. If I guarantee I'll say something you disagree with. So do not subscribe to my channel if you're gonna you weren't going to originally because I didn't like The Incredible Hulk. So I texted Sean and I said like, my bad, dude. Like, I mean, he shouted me out, and then this guy had to act like a douchebag. He deleted all his comments though because I think he finally knew he was wrong. But
yeah. I mean, every time I do that as well, like, you know, I just choose to, hey, you know, my friend needs more subscribers or anything like that. Just put a post out there. No, this person didn't like this movie. Screw that guy. Don't subscribe. Like, people are so toxic. We're just doing a positive thing for each other, trying to help each other grow. The best thing is about this film community, it's not about the movies. It's about helping each other out and being positive and not trying to bring someone down.
Yeah, exactly. But outside of all that, I think Tenet getting the numbers that it did, it's hard to know what's good or not good in these crazy times. You know what I mean? It's hard to know if that's a good number or not. But by most, it's a disaster if the situation was normal, but it's not. You know?
Yeah, that's true. What you're really blurry, man. I don't know what the system is doing with us, but
Sorry.
anyway, I'm very happy, that the movie's out in theaters right now, and
Hmm.
people who have seen it, they love it for the most part, but some people hate it still, or are in the middle. So if you're kind of confused on it on first viewing, definitely watch it a second time and try to gain a fresh perspective on it. You either love it or hate it another time. So Colin just exited out, and then we'll be back in a few minutes. All right, so
How do I
are you
look?
back? Yeah, you look better now.
Okay. I just exited the stream to see how I look, but sorry about that.
Yeah, no worries, man. All right, I figured we go right into a topic you brought up to me. Furious 9. Furious 9 will be heading I was like, oh my God. Michelle Rodriguez confirms Fast and Furious 9 will be heading to space.
It's getting harder. It's getting harder and harder to defend these movies, but I'll keep doing it.
I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, out of all the ideas, I knew this was coming. We've been hyping Fast and Furious to go to space for such a long time, and now we're going to the 9th film in this franchise, and now we're going to go into space. Where are they going to jump off of different planets like, I don't know, Saturn, Jupiter? Are they going to drive race cars and trucks? I don't know what they're going to do. Colin, defend these movies. Tell me why you're right and why this is the best news ever.
Well, this is awesome news because it's got unlimited star power, unlimited money. These movies make a ton of money, and they can just do whatever the hell they want. And they know it's stupid. They know it's dumb. And in fact, because of that, I think we're getting better movies because we're just giving the directors so much creative freedom. Just like, dude, James Wan, here's the source material, or whoever, just go crazy, right? And they really, I'm so pumped. And yeah, it's silly, it's stupid, it doesn't make any sense, but a lot of things don't make sense and they're awesome. Dwayne The Rock Johnson just breaking out of his cast and grabbing on Hobbs and Shaw,
throwing a bomb or something.
Throwing being on submarines on ice and a torpedo and all this stuff, and Hobbs and Shaw grabbing a chain and throwing it onto a helicopter, and it just perfectly locks on without any skill.
Tyrese Gibson on ice throwing a Lamborghini door. Like, what?
Yeah, it's all stupid. And it's we'll see how it goes. For all we know, this could be the best space movie since Inception. We have no idea. So, or The Martian, probably,
or First Man, or The Martian. Not sure.
Yeah, man, I'm looking forward to it. It's stupid, but they'll figure something out. It's the Fast and Furious franchise. They like to write themselves in corners and then just immediately forget it happened. And yeah, man, I'm a huge fan of this franchise. I'll always defend it. I'll just always defend it. That's just what I'll do.
Yeah, for me, this franchise grinds my gears in some positive light. Like, I know it's stupid, I know it's dumb, but it brings entertainment. Like, these are movies that we don't get a lot these days. It's just, we need some dumb, mindless entertainment. So now let's just go to space and jump off of moon.
Well, if you when I first watched these movies, I would think about them too hard. I'd be like, okay, wait. So this, and then I at number 5 or 4, I was like, bro, why do I even care? Why am I even wasting my energy trying to think about the plot of this movie? Just have fun. Because if you think too hard, you just end up not liking the movie. It just kind of depends if you like these movies, or do or do not like these movies. It just kind of depends on how big of a stick you have up your ass. If it's a very large stick, then you're not going to like the movies very much. If it's not a stick at all, then you're going to love the movies. So it's just you just have to have fun with it. Just take them for what they are, and either don't watch them or don't watch them or watch them. It's up to you.
Yeah, I'm just not looking forward to the conflict of what they're going to do with John Cena.
Dom's brother.
Dom's brother. I'm like, God, what are they gonna do now? Or George of the Jungle as well, or Tarzan? What they're gonna do with cars as well, with the rope scene? I don't know what they're gonna do, Colin. Are they gonna? Are they gonna
That scene
have
was
another?
awesome.
Are they gonna have another 3-minute trailer where they're gonna have cars?
I
Go off of ropes like Tarzan.
I do not do a lot of trailer reactions. It's not my thing. But one that I did do was for Fast 9 because I was actually, I'm a big Fast and Furious fan. And when Han came back in that first trailer, I freaked out.
I just walked out. I'm like, I'm done. What?
I think it's just a Ponzi scheme. I think that him and Shaw are in cahoots. That's what I think it is. That's why he's back.
They faked his death or staged it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so I could care less about Furious 9, but at least if you're gonna go to space, at least make it entertaining. So here's a franchise that I'm a big fan of. I know you're not as big into the films as I am, but Mission Impossible 7. They released some behind-the-scenes photos as well as a little clip of a stunt they're actually going to do involving a ramp with Mission Impossible 7. Did you see that on Discussing Film?
Yeah, it was insanity, dude. Like the scale of it.
Yeah, dude, a big gigantic ramp. So I think that's all going to be CG. Like he'll be driving off of a ramp and performing a stunt. So we saw Tom Cruise on a motorcycle and a helicopter behind him, just performing this cool motorcycle stunt. So that's it.
Sort of like how we were saying Dune is going to be a smart man's Star Wars. I think Mission Impossible is like a smart man's Fast and Furious. It's got the scale and scope and the amazing action, but it's got the story behind it. It's more prestigious. It's not like super like they're still fun and schlocky, but they're really well done.
Yeah, I mean it's a great rivalry. It's a great sort of rivalry with James Bond. I mean, Ethan Hunt and James Bond are completely different characters, but I think both of these franchises know how to do the spy genre really well. And I'm definitely more of a Mission Impossible diehard. I mean, the first 3 movies really were trying to find their footing, especially the first 2. I think the first one was more of like an espionage spy film with no action as much. The second film, though, was trying too hard to be James Bond, Pierce Brosnan. The third one, I think, was where they were trying to go in a completely different direction. And then 4, 5, and 6, took off into these amazing action blockbuster films.
I mean,
so.
Rogue Nation is unbelievable. I love Rogue Nation.
Yeah, Rogue Nation's fantastic. That's my second favorite. But Fallout, to me, was where the franchise was at its highest peak. That film is going to be very hard to top for me because you put Mission Impossible Fallout and Mad Max Fury Road. Those are my 2 favorite action films this past decade. They defined how to do action movies the right way for the next 10 or 20 years of what they could do. And with Mission Impossible 7, all you had to do was give me a crazy stunt behind the scenes shot of Tom Cruise doing something, and I think this is the one. So it looks cool.
Yeah, I have no real crazy thoughts, but
yeah, no crazy thoughts. But I'm looking forward to whenever that comes out. So let's talk a little Star Wars, shall we, Colin? So Daisy Ridley was in an interview most recently with Josh Gad, I think on Jimmy Kimmel or something, and she was talking a lot about Rise of Skywalker and the filming for it, and some questions that were brought up by fans and people. She basically laid it all out of all the things we've been saying these past few months. So basically, Rise of Skywalker was not even planned at all. I mean, they were making shit up as the filming was going. She brought up Rey's parentage. At one point, they were going to make her a Kenobi, and then they switched her to a Palpatine. All these different parents and storylines.
That she was going to be a nobody.
A nobody. They changed shit up last minute every time they were filming. So it pretty much confirmed that they had no plan at all for this whole entire series. I mean, it's really no surprise, dude. I mean, the way The Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker were going, it seemed like Disney were rushing and really didn't think at all what they wanted to do for this series. And it's a real shame. I mean, And it showed with Rise of Skywalker. I did not like that movie at all. But Last Jedi, I enjoyed, but it's not a perfect movie.
It's as much as I enjoyed Last Jedi, you realize that movie shouldn't have happened. He shouldn't have gotten that much freedom because it just created this. They shouldn't have. It proved that they didn't have a plan from the Last Jedi. When you first saw
Daisy
it,
Ridley confirmed it.
well, when you first saw Last Jedi, okay, maybe the plan was that they were gonna that was the plan to kind of change things up from where the Force Awakens was, and we'd carry that over. But then the Rise of Skywalker confirmed that no, there was no plan whatsoever, and they lied to us too. They said Palpatine was always like the main guy, like he was always in the plan. Like bullshit. That is not true. That is false. That is a lie. Yeah, it's disappointing. I mean, I think Lucasfilm and Kathleen Kennedy should just be absolutely ashamed of themselves. You buy an IP like Star Wars and botch it so terribly. They should just be literally embarrassed with the product they gave us. Kevin Feige and Marvel at Disney have proven they're competent. They took a big IP like Marvel and they made it work because they had a vision, they had a plan, they had an actual leader that knew the fuck that he was doing. Kathleen Kennedy is a absolutely atrocious president for Lucasfilm. She was a great producer, respect her and all those rights. Like fantastic. Some of the films that she's been on, kind of been a part of a lot of Steven Spielberg pictures. Shout out to her. But she was so focused on things that had nothing to do with the movies. And then every 3 days, it seems like we're getting a new Star Wars. The only thing that I'm ever excited about is The Mandalorian. But like, so it's like, okay, this person's going to be directing a Star Wars movie. Okay, we're going to do this. Rian Johnson's going to have his own trilogy. It's like, I don't believe you. I don't fucking believe you. You guys keep like saying these stuff. You're not vetting your directors and making sure you all have the creative vision in place. So there's people being left. We saw what happened with Solo. Rogue One had some issues. So it's a freaking disaster.
It really is. Yeah.
It pisses me off. It like legit makes me mad. There's no excuses. There's none.
Absolutely none. Yeah.
You had such a successful franchise like Star Wars. You killed it with The Force Awakens. All you had to do was tell Rian Johnson. Rian Johnson's an inspiring director choice for that. Directed Looper, some smaller movies. That's a good direction hire for a good hire for a director for The Last Jedi. You should have told him you can't do some of these things. Making Rey a nobody's fine, but some of the stuff that he did in that film, as much as I like it, it's like you're just retconning everything that went on with the previous film, and with Rey being a Palpatine, and then they're gonna back it up and then have her be nobody or whatever, and then the Kenobi thing would have kind of made sense. I think that was an idea in The Force Awakens, but like I don't even mind them having. They bought the Lucasfilm in 2012. You have 3 years to figure stuff out. I don't even mind from 2015 when The Force Awakens happened, not 100% having a plan. By the time Last Jedi comes out, you have to know where that third film's ending, and they didn't.
Yeah, you have to. Yeah.
I get The Force Awakens. Okay, we're leaving some things open so that way it's up for interpretation. We can go from there. It's a joke. Kathleen Kennedy she shouldn't be. Let's not let her off the hook. She's been a terrible Lucasfilm president.
I'm surprised she still has the job. I mean, there's way better creative, hungry minds out there that have a plan, that know how to run a company and know what they want to do. Like, you pretty much said everything that I wanted to say. I mean, Kathleen Kennedy has proven that she is an awful leader of Lucasfilm and just the plan. There was no plan. Like, we've been saying this even before the creators, the director, or the actors themselves have said there was no plan. Like, Rise of Skywalker felt shoehorned, like that whole movie. I mean, Last Jedi, I enjoyed the movie. It does have a lot of issues to it. At least Rian Johnson and J.J. Abrams at the start. J.J. Abrams, he knew what he wanted to do with that movie. Rian Johnson, he said, screw that. I want to do what I want to do. And then J.J. comes back. And then you can't let that happen. And with Rise of Skywalker, all right, let's just throw stuff in last minute. We don't know what the hell we want to do with this ending, so let's just try these different stories. You can't do that. I mean,
well, if you think about it too, we're not talking about it. I hate to be like this guy that's like, this ruined Star Wars, but if you think about it, the sequel trilogy just fumbled. Like it was such a failure. Such a failure. That isn't it sad that the last Skywalker movies, The Rise of Skywalker, like that just like that just gets me upset. Like that just like I'm like sad thinking about that. Like it's like this is the end to what we all grew up watching and loving, and this is what you give us. Like it's just
I feel the same way. I feel the same way with Game of Thrones. I mean, this was the season we got. I mean, I haven't watched Game of Thrones, like the whole entire thing since 2011. I mean, I don't know how those fans feel, but for me, as a Star Wars fan,
I get that comparison, but at least like look at I didn't like Tenet at first, right? At least with Christopher Nolan, like in that movie, he fell forward. Like the problems with that movie is based on ambition and ideas and well thought out, well crafted ideas that just didn't maybe fully flesh out. I like that movie a lot more now. But at least like The Rise of Skywalker, if they were like, okay, we're gonna do like that's why The Last Jedi, when it fumbled and some people were upset, I was like, okay, well at least we're taking risks. We're doing something that's interesting. We're thinking things in a creative direction. The Rise of Skywalker it just fumbled in the worst way possible because it wasn't like, okay, we're trying a risky thing. We're gonna go a way that might make fans unhappy or anything. Like no, they just tried to please everyone, and by pleasing everyone, they pleased nobody. And they was the most safe movie ever, and it's just a terrible movie. It's a terrible movie.
100% agree. They just try to please everybody, get the film out there, make the money, and just it's like a big slap in the face and a huge kick in different places to all Star Wars fans.
And I don't mean to be
we don't mean to be like these like negative type of guys. We're just saying how we feel and pointing things out for what they were. I mean, they didn't have a plan. They lied to us in certain aspects, and it just was not good. It was an awful way.
I feel bad criticizing Kathleen Kennedy because I think she's a nice lady, and I think she does. Like I said, she's produced some really great movies, and I think I shout out. And to be fair, she probably was the right person for the job. At like hindsight's 2020, we'd be like, oh my god, how was she ever hired? Like, no, I understand why she was hired. She just did a bad job when it's like she just lost her mind and lost all the talent she had.
Yeah, you're blurring again, but I think she kind of had plans, but she didn't know how to think of how to end the plans. Like she didn't think everything through from what we've seen in these other projects. So yeah, this just our little rant frustration for how Lucasfilm and Star Wars has ended up. So
yeah. Sad times. But we're looking forward to The Mandalorian. That's been the one bright spot.
I love the photos. We just need that trailer now. We just need that trailer.
Give it to me now.
Yeah. So, Colin, I think we should get right into the culture project, sir.
Well, are we already done with the news?
We are. We are done with the news. So, yeah, that's our thoughts on the movie news, guys. So let's just get right into the culture project, man.
I'll go first. I'll go first.
All right, so just to let the audience know our movies. So Colin's movie this week I picked for him was Train to Busan. It was a foreign film week. You picked a foreign film. So I picked for you to watch Train to Busan, the zombie horror film that's on Netflix, and he picked for me to watch City of God. So Colin, talk about Train to Busan. What were your thoughts?
Okay, I knew nothing about this movie, like literally nothing. I didn't read the description.
That's great. First of all, that's great. You knew nothing about this movie.
So when I found out it was a zombie movie, I was not expecting that at all. So I'm like, okay, all right, this guy's, he's divorced. He's got this kid, he's buying him presents that he already owns. So I'm like, okay, let's see where this is going. And I was captivated with the story. I was tracking with it and everything. And then you see someone walk in. I was like, uh-oh, I think I know where this is going.
Oh, the girl?
The girl that comes in, she's clearly sick or whatever. And I was like, this was the defining moment. Because if you don't know anything about this movie, like I did, this is the moment where you either jump ship or you're on board. Because if you find out it's a zombie movie, you're like, ooh, I don't know if this fit tonally with what was set up before. But then you look back at the film, and I think that they set it up kind of nicely. I really enjoyed this movie. That was really good. It was really exciting. I'm not like a big like I said, I didn't even know it was a zombie movie. I'm not like it's not like a genre I particularly.
Great. I wanted to fool you because if you know nothing about this movie, that's awesome.
Yeah, I didn't know, and The ending kind of choked me up a little bit. I thought the singing at the end and yeah, I thought they set up everything nicely where you're like they're on the train to Busan, like that's like literally the title, and you have the baseball players and you have these old ladies and you've got the pregnant people, like this pregnant lady and her husband who's like a total badass. That guy's such a badass.
Don Lee, he's gonna be in the Eternals.
Okay, yeah, he was just messing people up.
Yeah,
And yeah, I wasn't expecting it. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was sweet towards the end. Not sweet, but more like sad, I guess. And you can tell it's going to set up for a sequel, which it is a sequel now.
Devastating, dude. Yeah, it broke me.
Yeah, and then there's going to be a sequel, and there already is a sequel. I think you saw it already, right?
I have not. No, I have.
Oh, okay. I thought they already came out for some reason. I guess it hasn't yet, but it's setting up for one for sure. You can tell. The action was good. The effects were good. Yeah, I dug it. I give it an A-. I thought it was. What were your issues with it? The only thing is this is weird because it was like, okay, I almost didn't prefer if it was a zombie movie, but if you say that just changes the whole movie because that's what it is. So like when we got on the train, I didn't know what was happening, what was going to happen. I mean, so I was like, when the zombie thing happened, I was like, I don't know if I want that kind of story. Because I didn't know that like if I walked in knowing it was a zombie, so I was like, okay, I'm check my expectations are checked at the door. But here I was like, I don't know if we're like, but it quickly won me over, I think.
I think.
I mean, I don't know if there was like one negative I could pinpoint. I think it's just one of those subjective things. Like it's like I don't know if there's like too many flaws. It's just it's an A- enjoyment level. Like I think the ending definitely got me emotionally, but I don't know, that one character that was a douchebag. I didn't really like him, but I mean that's intentional for the movie and all that.
Great character.
And yeah, I mean, yeah, A-. I thought it was good. I didn't really have too many issues with that. I thought it was really entertaining.
Yeah, Train to Busan is one of my favorite foreign films of all time. It's my favorite zombie movie. This film was fantastic all the way around. It's a great story. I think if you don't know anything about the movie, that's great. I mean, the film opens up with the great scene with that deer. I mean, you can already know what to expect. And it's just a story about a father, reconnecting with his daughter, trying to earn her love and trust. And he's not a good person at all. He's kind of a dick like the first 20 minutes or like the first hour of this movie, but then he has a great arc. I mean, you really care about the father by the end of the movie. And Don Lee, I cannot wait to see him in the Eternals. He was such a badass in this movie and, kind of put off by his selfishness. The unlikable guy you said, he was a great villain. I mean, it's just a great zombie movie. I mean, this film showed America how to do zombie movies the right way. I mean, I haven't seen the Cornetto trilogy. Are those British? I mean, awesome. I don't know. This movie showed America how to do zombie movies the right way. I mean, that shot with all the zombies running after the train, I was like, oh my God, this is awesome.
Yeah, and then pretty much created this whole rug.
I haven't seen The Walking Dead, but this looks like awesome, better than The Walking Dead. I mean, let me know in the comments what you guys think of that. But yeah, this movie's fantastic, man. And the ending of this movie is depressing. The ending is depressing.
Yeah, she's singing, and you're like, damn.
And the sacrifice, my God, beautiful. So I'm glad you liked it, man. Glad you liked it. Yeah. So my movie, Colin picked for me was City of God. He was been talking about this movie. Yeah. I've never heard of this movie, and you brought it up.
Really?
And I checked it up. This was number 22 on IMDb's best movies of all time. Mm-hmm. And I watched City of God. Didn't know anything about it. It was a Brazilian film. It's just about a coming of age film mixed with a bunch of kids. One kid is basically this big crime boss, and this other kid wants to be a photographer. It's basically like a big crime mafia movie mixed with a coming of age film.
That's great.
This movie's so fucking good, dude. Holy crap.
It's so good.
Great.
It's so good. Yeah.
But I'm never gonna watch this film again. This movie
really?
This movie's rough. It is a one and done, but it is so good.
Wow,
So
that's
good.
interesting. I find it kind of rewatchable. Interesting. Elaborate.
This is a one and done for me. I think this film is one of the most savage films I have ever seen in my entire life. This movie does not give a F about harming children. Two kids in this movie get their the villain of the movie shoots these kids in the feet. Like, there's this really intense sequence. I'm like, oh my God, I'm loving what I'm seeing, but I'm like, damn, this movie goes there. But I mean, this movie's great, dude. I mean, the story it tells just about, it's a true story too. So that really resonated with me.
I shouldn't have told you the true story because you find out at the end that it is. I shouldn't have told you that before.
Yeah, Lil Z, the villain of this movie, one of the best villains I've ever seen.
Dude, he's so good. Little Zay.
Such a menace. Lil Zay, is that his name? Such a great villain. You see him as a little kid. He's killing people left, right, and center. The first half of this movie, I was trying to understand why they were going the crime route, but then they explain why. I'm like, I'm invested, You got this kid who wants to go on a good path and the brother who goes on the dark path, and there was consequences for that. And this movie was beautifully told, man. I mean, City of God, if you guys have not seen the movie, definitely watch it for yourself. I must warn you, though, it is savage AF. It goes there. But for me,
what did you think of what was it, Rocket as the main character? What did you think of him as a protagonist?
Yeah, Rocket, I felt bad for the kid. He was living in a tough environment. He just wanted to be a photographer. And he goes through a lot of a big arc in this movie too. He's afraid of a lot of things, and the ending when he's basically taking pictures of DJ. How do you say his name? Lil Zay, is that his name?
Yeah, Lil Zay.
And it's an intense ending. How the ending of the movie is basically the beginning of the movie, and it sets everything up. And yeah, I thought the movie was beautifully told.
Okay, out of 4 movies, what's better, Parasite or City of God?
For me, Parasite. Overall, though, probably City of God. I mean, I find Parasite just more rewatchable. This film I'm not going to rewatch again because of how brutal it was. But it was beautifully told. I mean, it's not that rewatchable of a film. I would have wished there were arcs I wanted to see more from, especially the girlfriend.
Yeah.
But regardless,
what was the Benny as like the one that was
Benny,
afro with the
glasses? Sad what happened.
He was awesome. I loved him.
Really liked his character too. This orange-haired kid, I wanted to see more from him. Yeah. It was a little too long too. I think it a little stayed its welcome. A little bit too long, but I'd probably give this movie an A- too. I really liked it.
Good. I'm glad you like it. This movie. It's one of my favorites of all time. I think I put it like 27 or something in my all-time favorites.
Yeah. So City of God and Train.
That's interesting. You won't see it again though. I've seen that
it's
movie
like
a couple times.
It's not that I hated the movie. I love the movie, but it's like, would I want to rewatch kids getting shot in feet again? Kids getting bullets in their feet?
I don't know
like
why.
that. That's child abuse, man.
I don't know why I'm laughing, but I just feel awkward about it.
Oh my God. Kids getting blasted. Like,
yeah.
But it's a great movie. All right, so now let's pick our movies. I think we already agreed we were going to do a bad movie week. So, Colin, you know my movie for you. We're going to watch some awful movies this week. 9 Lives. We're starring Kevin Spacey as a talking cat. So that's my bad movie for you to watch this week. And your bad movie for me to watch this week was?
Downsizing.
Starring Matt Damon. So we're going to watch. Yeah, I'm sure you guys are been asking us, Ryan, why don't you guys watch bad movies instead of good movies this time? We'll do it for a change, all right? We'll do it every once in a while.
Yeah.
So there we go. You got 9 Lives to watch this week. I will watch Downsizing this week.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so now let's go to fan questions. We actually got a lot on YouTube community, so a lot more than I was expecting. So I think we should start with the YouTube ones. Starting with
All right.
Walther Sorsa. What is your favorite horror movie? And he said mine in the YouTube community, Red Rum, The Shining. And you guys know what Colin's favorite is.
Let's Get Out.
Get Out. Yeah,
It
Get
just
Out is
happened
now.
this year.
It just happened on the podcast. Get Out is Colin's favorite, and The Shining's my favorite.
The Shining was my favorite for like 2 weeks.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah, I've explained my thoughts on this movie a lot. You guys know I love The Shining. It's my favorite horror movie of all time. Nicholas Lloyd, what is your favorite Chris Stuckman hilariosity review? I'll say my favorite hilariosity review Chris Stuckman did was, what was it? Oh, it was such a good one too. I don't know. You think of one.
I like the Batman and Robin one. I like the what else has he done? He did X-Men Origins Wolverine. That's the best one. With him and Flick Pick did that one.
That's right, yeah. Either The Happening or no, Dragon Ball Evolution. Dragon Ball Evolution.
I haven't seen that movie, so I haven't watched that.
Yeah, Dragon Ball Evolution. That was my favorite one. It is hilarious. I haven't seen Chris Stuckman that angry in a long time. It was hilarious.
Yeah. That's
his least favorite movie of all time. Top 5 favorite Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse scenes. Top 5? Man. All right.
I don't think we can do a whole top 5 right now.
I mean, I'll just say some 5. I'll say if you agree. I think the Leap of Faith scene with Miles finally being Spider-Man, I mean, that's everyone's favorite moment. I mean, any scene with Spider-Man Noir with his Rubik's Cube, Miles finally discovering his powers, the team turning on him, but then he has that arc where he talks with his father again, and probably the ending. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
The opening's good too.
I think. I think I'd go. I'd just agree with everything you said.
Yeah, the opening's good too. Even if you don't love Interstellar, would you agree the Dawkins scene is one of the most iconic scenes? Yeah, in the film.
It's great. I don't know if I call it iconic, but yeah, that's great.
It's one of the best scenes in the film. I mean, so thrilling. We already talked about that. What's your favorite movie starring Tom Hanks? All right, I'm not going to say Toy Story, but I would probably say Catch Me If You Can is my favorite movie starring Tom Hanks. I mean, it's one of my favorite Spielberg movies. And Tom Hanks, it's a fantastic movie. Tom Hanks plays the detective. Leo plays Frank Abagnale Jr., the youngest criminal mastermind. And it's just a great character that Tom Hanks plays in that movie. And it's Spielberg. It's one of his most underrated but best movies.
I'll go the cliche pick, Forrest Gump.
Forrest Gump, life is like a box of chocolates.
That was a terrible impression.
That was a terrible impression.
Life is like a box of chocolate.
Life is like a box of chocolate. Walther Sorsa, what is your favorite romance movie? All right, I'm just going to say it just to piss Colin off. Casablanca.
That doesn't piss me off.
And it's Casablanca for me. I mean, rewatching it again just confirmed my love for it. I mean, it's such a great romance movie. It's a classic film. It's a beautiful love story. I think it has one of the best endings of ever. Rick Blaine as a character just very broken, and Ilsa, it's one of the best relationships. You understand why they can't go on with their romance, but it's just beautifully told. I know you disagree, but that's my favorite.
Mine is, I think you know my answer, When Harry Met Sally.
Yeah, When Harry Met Sally. I knew it was coming.
A million times better than Casablanca.
Sorry. What is your favorite mystery / neo-noir movie from Nicholas Lloyd?
Neo-noir? What does that really mean?
Is that like detective?
I don't
What
know.
is the definition of neo-noir?
I don't know what that exactly means. If we're going mystery, I'll probably go Zodiac or Seven.
Yeah, Seven. I don't know. Nightcrawler. Would you count that as a neo-noir film?
Yeah, I think that's what people allude to. I mean, I think Prisoners, if we're talking mystery, Prisoners probably be number one. Prisoners,
Yeah.
Zodiac, and Seven, I think I'd put up there.
Blade Runner 2049. That's a really good one. I just thought the noir aspect. I'll go with those ones. Favorite. What makes a movie special? I mean, the filmmaking, the acting, a good score, cinematography, script. You need all of those aspects to make a fantastic film.
What he said.
When I said, Joseph Lansdell, top 5 weirdest movies I've ever seen. I can't do a top 5 off the top of my head, but I think the weirdest movie maybe that I've ever seen is Sausage Party. Yeah. I don't even.
Go ahead.
What? Oh, were you gonna say something?
Yeah. Oh, I saw this movie called Rubber, which is like a tire that like
That's
looks
right,
at people and then makes people like explode or something. It was so weird.
Yeah, I'm like, what is that?
Have you not heard of that movie?
I've never heard of Rubber.
Yeah, Rubber. It's just a tire that goes around killing people. It's like a serial killer movie, but it's a tire.
No, that may be the weirdest thing I've ever heard. Yeah. So that was what I could think of. Favorite feel-good movie? Movie that makes you feel good all the way around.
Back to the Future.
Yeah, Back to the Future. That'll probably be my favorite.
Back to the Future or When Harry Met Sally is a feel-good movie too.
Yeah, those are good ones. Favorite musical movie? I think mine's The Wizard of Oz. I've always loved The Wizard of Oz ever since I was a kid. I was one of the Lollipop Guilds in my community theater. You have the Scarecrow, the Tin Man, Dorothy, and the Cowardly Lion, all lovable characters, and Toto, the dog. It's iconic. You've seen Wizard of Oz, right?
Yeah, I've seen it like a million times.
Yeah, what would be your favorite?
Nah, I mean, I don't know. I'm not really big musical. I like movies about music more. So I'm gonna cheat and say I'll say School of Rock, even though it's not a musical.
All right, that's a good one.
Or Grease. If I have to go actual musical, I'll say Grease.
There you go. That Grease is the word.
That's such an iconic song.
Yeah, Grease is the word. Favorite movie reviewer? I mean, I've answered this a lot, but I think the OGs, Chris Stuckman, Jeremy Johns, the Schmoes, but out of those, Stuckman, all my friends, you, Jay, Zach, everybody I've done collabs with and comment with are my favorite reviewers, more than the actual OGs.
Yeah, out of the OGs, Chris Stuckman, but out of like the ones, I mean, Sean Chandler's, if we're talking about like big guys too, Sean Chandler. And then he's my favorite right now. I also love Adam Does Movies, and then my friends.
Friends. If you want to be interviewed by a late night host, who would it be?
Jimmy Fallon.
Yeah, I'd probably.
He'd be funny. Jimmy Kimmel's great too, though.
Yeah, I'm not big into Jimmy Kimmel compared to Fallon, but Fallon is the one I.
There's a Jimmy Fallon ride at Universal where I live, in Orlando, and it's so fun. It's such a fun ride.
Oh, it is. Yeah.
It's like a race through New York, like simulator thing, and you're like racing Jimmy in this thing, and it's so fun.
Oh, awesome! Cool. What is your favorite Western? No Country for Old Men for me. The Coen brothers, Javier Bardem as Anton Chigurh, Tommy Lee Jones, Josh Brolin. It's a mystery film. You think you don't know where the villain is most of the movie. You don't know who he is pretty much. That just makes the movie that much more terrifying. So No Country for Old Men.
No Country for Old Men's great. I'm trying to think. Is there any other ones that kind of came out in modern times? That's kind of one of the OGs that a lot of people would say. I feel like I had a
Bad and the Ugly.
More like modern era. I'm trying to. I feel like I had an answer for this that wasn't No Country for Old Men.
310 to Yuma. True Grit.
I'm trying to think of some westerns. Does Wind River count as a western? I know it's in snow, but like it's like in like these.
It's
It's
like
in like
more of a
this.
thriller. I think it's more of a thriller.
Yeah, that's like, but it's like in a rural area. Yeah, I'll go No Country for Old Men, I guess. I like that movie a lot. It's a really good movie.
The most you've ever lost in a coin toss.
He just grabs that thing and just fucking kills people. I don't even know.
Hold still, please. What is the saddest movie and funniest movies you've seen? I mean, saddest movies, Train to Busan. I mean, the ending, like I said, devastated me. Bambi had a devastating moment. Lion King had a lot of devastating moments. Many people say Schindler's List is the most devastating movie they've seen. I haven't seen Schindler's List, so I can't comment. Funniest movie I've seen, probably Elf is up there for me. School of Rock is up there. Big Daddy, Adam Sandler, and Step Brothers.
I'll go School of Rock. I don't know if I have a sad movie because, like, there's movies that make me cry, but it's not like a sad movie. It has sad elements, but I ultimately feel happy by the end of it. But like the movie I cry the most in is Perks of Being a Wallflower, but that's not a sad movie. It has sad parts, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense, man. And last question comes from J1 goddamn percent Vaders. Thank you, Jay. What was your guy's first job?
I was a busboy at a hibachi restaurant, and I worked there for 5 days. And she told me I wasn't old enough. I guess it was like off the books type thing. So if we don't really count that. I usually don't count that. But then I worked for a year at this mom and pop breakfast place as a busboy again. Worked with a bunch of amazing older ladies. Then I was like easily the youngest person that worked there. And I met some great. I'm friends with some of the customers to this day on Facebook because they would come in every single day. There was loyal customers that came in every single day, so I would see them every weekend. And like during the Christmas time, they'd give us money and gift cards and scratch off tickets and stuff. So I'm still friends with those people. It was a great experience for me when I was 15 years old. I saved up money and bought my first car because of that job, and I still drive that car to this day.
Oh, really? That's awesome.
Yeah.
For me, my first job was, I've always been a bagger for different grocery stores. I also sold ice cream for my community youth ministry. So my first job was technically that, selling ice cream. So I'll go with that.
I got a question for you for bagging groceries. What aisle are you on? What's your number?
Oh, what's my number aisle?
Yeah.
I don't know, 5, 4.
That's the one you own. You own that. You own that part of the streets. Those two aisles.
Aisle 5 and 4. Those are mine.
4 and 5. That's the O2 lane. Everyone stay off. I own this part.
Get up. Yep, those are my lanes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's it. Thank you guys so much for fan questions. We look forward to answering your questions for next week's episode. So, Colin, today's a special day. It's Hans Zimmer's birthday today, one of the greatest composers working today in the industry. He's made a lot of fantastic musical scores. So I know you just uploaded a video of your top 10 favorite scores, which I haven't watched, so I won't be spoiled. So I figured to celebrate Hans Zimmer's birthday, let's do our top 5 favorite Hans Zimmer scores in movies.
Gotcha. Let's do it.
5 through 1, I figured we just kick it off with me. My number 5 is Gladiator.
I haven't seen that movie.
All right, I picked it because I know you're going to pick. I think we're going to have similar picks. That's why I picked this. Gladiator, it's one of my favorite Ridley Scott movies, and I love the score to it. I mean, Hans Zimmer just was asked to do this out of the bloom, and he didn't know what to think, but just gladiators, so he just made an epic theme. And it's very emotional. There's a female singing voice to it. The ending's really devastating, and Russell Crowe won his Oscar in here. There's a lot of epic moments to the score, as well as emotional, heartfelt moments to it. I will definitely put Gladiator for the culture project for you to watch. It's one of Ridley Scott's best films, one Best Picture, and it's just fantastic score. What else needs to be said?
My number 5 is Interstellar. That score is great.
I'll just say it's my number 4.
Oh yeah, Interstellar is great, but I think what makes it kind of good is almost he's it's super epic in certain parts, but there's almost a lack of music in certain instances too, and that was a choice by him to okay, let's have a silent scene here and then add in the music and ramp it up, and he just did a masterful job.
Sorry, that
Scared
was
the
my
crap out of me.
that was my impression of the organ.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So yeah, it's great. Love that soundtrack.
Oh, fantastic. You said everything I was going to say. I mean, the church organs was terrifying in certain parts. Whenever they're in space and there's no sound, that organ just kicks in and just comes in. It's epic in a lot of scenes with the black hole sequences. It's really loud, but awesome. Fantastic.
Yep.
My number 3. What's your
You want me
number
to go? I can do number 4. Yeah, real fast. My number 4 is where it's on my list here. Pirates of the Caribbean: The Curse of the Black Pearl.
Okay, yeah, I knew you were gonna put this in here. I put it as an honorable mention.
That's great. It's so good. I didn't even know he did it for the longest time.
I watched the recent Hans Zimmer video. He was talking about all his scores. He did Pirates? Like,
I didn't even know that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So shout out to him. The scores. It's different from what it's different from what he's used to doing though. When a lot of his Nolan movies, it's like the kind of sound to it. Like, yeah, it's very like just I don't know, techno sounding but this one's very whimsical. It's got like a John Williams type vibe, but like in its own spin on it too.
It's swashbuckling. It's just fun.
Swashbuckling.
Yeah, swashbuckling. That's the term. I need to watch these movies again. It got me pumped to watch these again. Number 3, Lion King. The circle of, well, not the actual soundtrack, but the score.
I see. This is the thing with me with the Lion King is I love the songs in that movie, but I don't even really. I even know Hans Zimmer did the score. I just don't really think of it that much for him because. Well, the only reason I don't is because it's like the songs in the movie that are being sung and stuff. And a lot of Elton John did kind of compose some of that stuff. So I just Hans Zimmer, like the score is great. I just for some reason I just think of like
Sorry.
Yeah.
I think his score is epic for the wildebeest sequence when they're running and Mufasa saves Simba.
Yeah, that's good.
When Simba,
but it's an honorable mention.
Simba takes his king spot. It's just iconic. Hans Zimmer score, it's just amazing. I wanted to put it higher, but you obviously know what my top 2 are. What's your number 3, Colin?
My number 3 is Man of Steel.
Yeah, I knew you were gonna put me. I kept Man of Steel off because
Man of Steel is one. So we've had different lists. That's good. Man of Steel to me is like it's literally the takeaway of that movie for me. I watched that movie and the number one positive I have for it is the score. It's the best thing about that movie.
Controversial. It's my favorite Superman theme. I know people are like, oh no, the original bum 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 is the best. I get it.
No.
But this is my Superman.
Not controversial at all. I agree.
Dun, 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 dun. It's epic, dude. Fantastic.
Yeah, it's great. That's my number 3.
Number 2, the Dark Knight trilogy. Batman Begins, Dark Knight Rises. The continuing Batman theme, bum, 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 dun, 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 dun. It's epic, amazing. And the bum, bum, it's just great. I mean, Hans Zimmer score for Batman Begins, setting up a great origin story, a lot of haunting themes, a lot of slow themes, just epic. And then the Dark Knight, a lot more grittier than his other scores, which was great. The Joker's theme, it's just, you know, that bank robbery scene gets you invested in that. Yeah. And the Dark Knight Rises, the hey, hey, ha, ha. A lot of that in the score. Bane's theme, hey, hey, ha. It's just a lot of that. It's just epic. Just the Dark Knight trilogy, all of Hans Zimmer scores in there. It's a big, long, gigantic score. That's my number 2. I think we have
I
the same top two. So
yeah, my number 2 is Inception. Yeah, so good. I mean, the final third act of the movie, it's nonstop blaring, and then you have the final part where he spins the thing, the totem or whatever, and the music there is great. It's so good. It's amazing, and I'm sure it's your number 1.
yeah, bum 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 bum. Yeah, Inception's my number 1. It's his best score for me. It was well thought out. He had a script to work off of. Nolan, while he was writing the script, had a lot of trumpets and horns, the bum bum bum, and Hans Zimmer had to work off of that. It's just epic. I mean, a lot of the dream sequences, he added a lot of subtle moments, a lot of loud moments.
Yeah. The parts with the flashbacks where you find out, Cobb, like, his wife committing suicide, like that. The score just adds a lot to it as well.
Heartbreaking, man. And the elevator sequence too. So
yeah, that's great. And my number 1 is the Dark Knight trilogy.
Yeah.
The Dark Knight in particular.
Yeah,
I'm about to take it up. The Dark Knight trilogy, but in particular the Dark Knight, I think that that opening bank robbery sequence is great, and like that actual score, and then you get into the final kind of shot where it's dun dun dun, and it's like, oh, it's so good.
Dum dum dum. Yeah, it's epic.
Great stuff.
Yeah, if you're watching on YouTube, guys, let us know your top 5 Hans Zimmer scores in the comments.
Happy birthday, Colin, Hans Zimmer.
Happy birthday. Yes, happy birthday to the GOAT, Hans Zimmer. So, Colin, let's close this off with our movie quote of the week. What's yours?
You start. I forgot what mine was. I wrote it down. No, go. You start because I forgot mine.
All right. Mine is a quote from Die Hard, and it's Hans Gruber. I now have machine gun. Ho, ho, ho. Yeah, I just wanted to go with that because I freaking love that quote, dude, from Die Hard.
I had my quote written down. I don't know what happened to it, but I'm looking at my Blu-ray set of 7. What's in the box?
What's in the fucking box?
What's in the box?
In the box, man. Oh, man, such an iconic quote. All right, so guys, that does it for episode 25 of the Fallen for Film podcast. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Colin and I, we're going to go take a nap, shower, do whatever we want. Look forward to next week's episode because I'd love to bring on a guest. We'll figure out who. But Colin, close out with your closing thoughts, man.
Yeah, great episode, shorter episode. Looking forward to next week. But as you heard, I did a top 10 favorite movie scores. I spoiled some of the picks there, not all of them, but be sure to check out that video. So that's what's coming up. I'll also be doing a video ranking or doing my top 10 favorite 90s movies. I want to do that really soon as well. And as always, you can follow me on my YouTube channel. Subscribe there. Just hit 1,000 subscribers. Let's get to 2K really soon. Colin Williams, and then on Instagram, Colin Williams Reviews, Twitter, Colin Williams MR, and for any review I ever do, new or old, follow me on Letterboxd at CWilliams991. Very active on there. For any movie I ever see, I review it on Letterboxd. So thanks so much for having me, like I do every single week.
Yep. So, guys, I'm almost at 2,500 subscribers. Let's get there by this time when the podcast is up today. Greatly appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. Lots of videos dropping in the next coming weeks. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll check you guys next time. Survive.